Okay. Okay, where was I? Okay, so Eve was talking to me about levels, and she says, as regards forgiveness, this is something people often forget, that your forgiveness is working on several levels. It's not just a matter of there is one event and you make a decision whether or not to forgive that event. Whenever something occurs that you feel you need to forgive, you need to look at it in terms of several different levels. It's not just the one event or the one person or uh, the one political action or whatever it is that you're thinking you need to forgive. There is the external physical level. There's also inside yourself. The wise one once said that all forgiveness is self forgiveness. And to a degree, we would agree with that. However, again, because you live in a reality that operates on multiple levels, then you cannot say just the one thing. When I forgive, it's me. I have to forgive myself. There is so much more to it, you see. Now, we want to talk about how do you know if you have forgiven someone or something or some action? And this is something that a lot of people run into because they say, well, I forgave this person. But if the event arises again, then their anger flares again, or they say, I don't want to approach that person again. I don't want that person in my life or in my face again because a similar action may happen and I may have to forgive again, and I don't know if I can. Now, we say to you that if you have those feelings, you haven't actually forgiven. When you forgive, truly forgive, not just give it lip service like many people do because they think that's the right thing to do or the Christian thing to do or whatever. When you truly forgive, the circumstances will never occur again. You see, you are presented with something that you need to forgive because there is work you need to do on yourself, yes. And so, if it is recurring, then that means you have not completely forgiven. You have not, or the event or person would not occur again, would not be in your life again. It is not, oh, I forgive this person and now we are all lovey-dovey. No, that is not it. You see, it is something inside yourself that you have to look at and recognize and deal with. You need to understand why you needed to make this forgiveness. What is it inside yourself? It is often said that when something upsets you, when somebody does something and it upsets you, it is because you see that same feeling or activity or emotion. You see it within yourself. Otherwise, it wouldn't bother you. You see, you would just say, "Oh, that's how that person is," and you would forget it. It would not leave any lasting impression upon you. So the same is true with forgiveness. If you truly forgive, the event will not occur again. You don't need to worry about that. It's not that you forget that the event happened. It's that it will not happen again. If it does, you need to look at the different levels of forgiveness. Now, the one question that was posed had to do with forgiving oneself for earlier, in your terms, earlier events, decisions that one made, perhaps, or events that occurred. And you are holding some type of resentment about it or confusion about it. And you say, how do I deal with this? I know I create my own reality. I created events. The term I believe was that they are not uh, they're not beneficial to me. They are less than perfect events. They are events that I could easily have lived without. And we say, no, 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 no. You must understand that everything that you create, whether you consider it on this level to be good or bad or positive or negative, no matter how it impacts you, you see, you have created it for good reason. For good reason. You will learn something from it. You will have grown from it. You would have perhaps even changed your outlook on these particular events or things. Everything you create is for your benefit. Now, we understand that this can be very confusing because you may say, well, I would never create such an event. You see, I would never, oh, for example, create abuse in my life, be it physical or mental or whatever. I would never create that. But you see, if you look deeply into these events, you will see that there are positive ramifications. Well, there are ramifications which you may or may not see as positive. You may say, well, the ramification for this was terrible. But we say, no, it was not. It helped you in some way. And if it doesn't help you, or if you feel it didn't help you in this particular physical lifetime, then we tell you it's helping alternate selves. It's helping other selves in other lifetimes. You see, you are not, even though you create your own reality, you are still connected to all of yourselves, and you are not mm, so independent that you have no connection to your other selves. In fact, you have a great deal of connection to your other selves. We have talked about bleed through and such, and we tell you that it works both ways. Yes, it's not just that something happens, let us say, you cannot sing. You wish you could sing and you cannot sing. And then one day, all of a sudden, you can sing, and maybe it lasts a long time, maybe it doesn't. But you say, oh, that's a bleed through from another self. Well, you see, it works both ways. What you do, what you feel, what occurs to you bleeds through to your other selves. So when you are forgiving, if you are truly forgiving, you are not only helping yourself to grow, to meet your what the Seth calls value fulfillment. You are helping all of your other selves. So that's another level. Additionally, you, if it's a person or an animal, well, really anything living, it could be a plant. You are helping them as well. Your forgiveness, if it is sincere, will bleed through to them. They will feel it. It will assist them in many ways. They may say, whoa, you know, this person has forgiven me and my action was not forgivable, and they won't do it again. You see, or they will begin to question themselves and allow themselves a bit of growth. So once again, and we cannot stress this enough. It seems we must say it almost every time we speak. You have to look at things as levels. There is never one, there is never only one reason, one incident, which takes us back, to war, which we have spoken about before, that all of these wars throughout time are one war. It's only one. You see, you say, well, no, that's impossible. There's a Spanish American War, there's World War II, there's all the hideous stuff that's going on right now. And we say, no, it's one war. It's simply being looked at from different perspectives. It's being explored by myriads of people and of selves, and it's pushing its limits, it's finding its limits, you see. So this is true in your lifetime as well, that many things that you experience is really only one thing. It's one thing, you see. Now, we have said only one thing, but what we mean is one concept. You are exploring a particular concept, and within that, you may have to look at it in a variety of ways. You may have to look at things that are uncomfortable for you, and that's a clue, because if it's uncomfortable, then you definitely need to look at it. If you are floating through life and you never have a problem, everything is lovey and hunky-dory, this is probably your last life, we would say, because that does not occur to people, no matter what they tell you. There are reasons for your existence on this plane, and those reasons have to do with self-growth, and they have to do with exploration, yes, and they have to do with drama. The human race loves drama. It loves to have conflict, and the reason for this is that it gives you opportunity to explore. You see, it gives you opportunity to move through events. So again, with forgiveness, your event will not reoccur if you truly forgive. This is one way that you know you have forgiven, because you can let go of something. Sometimes the terms forgive and let go are used synonymously, but they are not the same. They are not the same thing. Mm, Although close, they are close, but they are not the same thing. So we wish you to look at events that you feel you have forgiven or that you need to forgive, and look at how those have impacted your life. Your emotions, your personality often changes once you forgive an event or a person. Uh, it will change you, and it will change you for the better in human terms. Now, we feel that it's time for questions.
Okay, I it looks like you explained about the person, place, or thing we're forgiven. Because my first question was, I would like to think that on some level, since we're all connected, this person that I am forgiving is somehow getting using that energy to be a better person and not do this again. Now, I mean, now that person is passed on, but I would like to think on some level that, because I know, again, all forgiveness, in my opinion, at this level is I just got to forgive myself so I can move on. But it's good to know that if I'm forgiving some person, that somehow they get to feel that and work with it to make that better or balance that out for themselves.
Yes. And we would add, it does not matter if that person is still in physical reality or not. You understand that connections go through all of your forms, is perhaps a good way to say it. You see, uh, the essence that is you, we say the essence, yeah, that is you, not necessarily your spirit or your soul or whatever these terms are. We say essence. The essence of you exists in all of your forms. So it's irrelevant if this person has passed on. You can still make a forgiveness, um, and it will be felt to some degree throughout all of the existences of form. Now, in spiritual form, in form which is not in body, not in flesh, the effect will be different. It is nearly impossible to explain to those informed what being not informed is like. Um, there have been many who have attempted to do this, and they've said, oh, it's like being in a dream, or as we have said, only a small portion when you speak with a medium or something. You're not speaking to the totality of the person that has left you. You're speaking to only a portion of it because so much else is going on out of form. So much is happening. And so once out of form, the entity is not going to focus necessarily on those who are still informed to any large degree. They are out of it now. You see, the physical is not as relevant anymore, but they will still feel it, almost like we want to say a ripple in an ocean or a ripple in a stream, because those connections are eternal. Yes, everything happens at once. We say that again, everything happens at once. So you cannot continue uh, to divide. You cannot understand through division. You can only understand through coming together. Does that help you?
Yes, most definitely. The other thing I wanted to touch on, since I felt it when it was said, was that we love drama,
Yes.
and I don't know that we love drama, because the way I understand it is there are other levels that are offering this certain energy so that we can offer up this drama so that they can use that kind of energy. So, I don't know that we love drama. We may not know what's going on, but I don't know that we love drama. Like even wars, like you were saying, there's only one war. To me, there's only one war, the war with yourself. And if you are warring internally, then we are going to have external wars. And I think all of us, most people are warring internally, so we're always going to have wars. But the drama, I think some of it is artificially inseminated here so that they can use that energy, whoever they is or are.
Well, we would say you have a point. However, going back to there is always more than one explanation. A drama, you see, is extremely creative. And what are you? You are a creative being. You create all of the time. Yes, you create your body, you create your circumstances, you create your life. And since drama and we would say this is true also of comedy and other things, but anything that sets up a learning experience, anything that sets up, say, a conflict, this helps you to grow and it helps you to make creative decisions. And so you love it because that is your purpose, is to create. When they say in many religions, they say you have been made in the form of the creator. That doesn't mean that the creator looks like whatever you look like. It doesn't mean the creator was humanoid or anything like that. It means the creator creates, and he creates those who create. You see, you are a creator, just like all that is. And so things like drama assist you in creation. And it also can teach others. So this is another reason that humans love drama. You see, it's not necessarily to learn how to live without drama. That that would not happen. You will always have some sort of drama because you will always be creating. And so you also need to look at drama in terms of levels again, levels again. You have small dramas, you have large dramas, you have dramas that are plays and TV shows. You have within your life mm, conflicts within yourself. We would say those can be very dramatic, you see. So we agree with you, but we disagree with you as well. We would say there is more to it. Yes,
Agreed, as always. There's much more to it.
fine.
Okay.
Other questions, please.
I have a question. So
Yes.
what do you do about forgiveness when the other party has not forgiven their actions and you gave them or apologized for their actions and you forgave them, but they kept doing it, so you had to cut them off? So,
No, we go back to what we said. If this person is continuing the actions, if you are continuing to be confronted with these actions, you have not forgiven. You can tell yourself all you want to that you've forgiven, but you have not. Because when you forgive, the action does not repeat, period. Now, certainly, the person has a choice as to whether to accept your forgiveness or not accept your forgiveness. But if you have truly forgiven, whatever that person's decision is, it will not occur to you again. It may occur to someone else, it may occur within himself or herself, but it will not confront you again. So it's lovely to say, "Oh, we forgive, we have forgiven," and we see this frequently in terms of death. Say someone is murdered, right? And they go to court, and the injured parties say, "Well, we have forgiven him." No, they have not forgiven him. In almost all instances, they have not. But they like to say it because it makes them feel good. They like to say, "Oh, what a wonderful person I am! What a great religious person I am! Whatever, because I have chosen to forgive." But they have not chosen to forgive. The feeling of pain, the feeling of hurt, the feeling of being wronged is still there. It may be deeper than it was before. They may have to look a little harder at it, but no. So we would say that in this instance, dear one, you are kidding yourself. You have not forgiven. Now, this is not a value judgment. Yes, we are not saying, "Oh, you better hop to it and learn how to forgive," because no, we would simply say, "Don't kid yourself. There is more going on here. If it is continuing, you need to look at why it is continuing. What is it that you are getting out of this? What is it within yourself that you need to explore deeper?" Do you see?
yeah, I understand what you just said, but I never did say I forgive you. I just told her stop the behavior because it was so bizarre and I questioned her behavior. She didn't have an answer to that. My answer to it was to not be around her anymore, not associate anymore. And
And
then
why does this bother you? If you don't wish to associate with her, you don't have to.
exactly. But like 20 years later, I bumped into her and come to find out, you know, sometimes us humans think because we hadn't been in a situation or seen the person that caused the harm so long ago that they changed. And that wasn't the what I got. I found when I got with her again and the separation of our friendship for all those years that she would have realized she was wrong. She knew it was wrong in the beginning. She wanted me to be the butt of the joke, you know? And so when I got tired of being the butt of the joke, I spoke up and I placed my boundaries then. And so she continued to go step on my boundaries and go through my boundaries. And so what is the way I could have protected myself? What is the way? I mean, I
There is
didn't
not,
feel like
there is no
I
way.
should have forgiven.
There is no
She did.
way until you understand why it is occurring. What is it within yourself? What is it within yourself? You see, it is not the other person, it is you. You, we tell ourselves all the time, this person harmed me, that person harmed me, this event was harmful to me. But you're placing it outside of yourself. You're saying this person made me the butt of her joke, this person hurt me, this person whatever, but you created it. You create together, you see, you create together. So you need to find out what it is. You need to look at yourself and say, what am I gaining from this? Why has this person come back into my life? She has come back because you have invited her. You see, you have invited her because you are not finished with whatever it is you wish to gain from these experiences. We understand this is difficult. It seems so much of physical life seems to come at us from the outside, but it does not. It does not come from the outside. You invite it, you create it, you participate in it. This can be so simple, you see, or you can make it very difficult, which is primarily what most of you do most of the time. You see, it's simple, but not easy to switch your thinking, to say, oh, I take full responsibility for my life and all of the events within my life. Now, this is a heavy load in some ways. In other ways, it's extremely freeing, you see, because you can stop hating other people. You can stop feeling put upon. You can stop being the martyr. You can stop being the one who is hurt because you understand you are doing it to yourself. So instead of saying, oh, how do I forgive this person for harming me X years ago and coming back and harming me again? You don't. You don't, because you've invited the person in. You invited her the first time and you're inviting her now. So what you must do is look at the reasons why. Why have you created this experience yet again? And again, there has been no forgiveness, or the person would not have returned, would not have, you would not have invited her back to explore the reasons if there had been forgiveness, whether you expressed it to this person or not. Is that at all helpful?
Uh,
So what you're saying in a nutshell is the law of attraction is paramount because if it's happening to me, I have something to do with it.
Correct.
Right? I'm attracting it. If it's whether I say I forgive him or not, if it's presenting itself, it can present itself to me without me being involved in it.
Correct.
Right?
okay, I
Okay.
agree with that to a point because after uh, the events, I hadn't seen her in 20 years. And then we met up. We didn't meet up. We were at the same event at the same place. I did
Time
not
is
invite her.
not linear. We will say this again and again and again. Time is not linear. So it doesn't matter if she returned to your life in 1 month, 1 year, 20 years, 50 years, it doesn't matter. Things recur frequently. Let us take, yes, 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 this one is talking about loss. Uh, uh, and we have explored with her and with many of you that you can feel something. Say something happens to you when you are a child, okay? And say you are abused, and say you believe you have forgiven the abuser. You're living your life, everything is hunky-dory, and then one day, out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, all of the pain comes back. And you think, God, where did that come from? Well, you see, it never left you. It's just that you had other things that were priorities at the time, and you chose not to focus on this particular event until whenever. And that can be any length of time, because time is not linear. When you re-experience something that happened many, many, many years ago, one moment, we wish you to understand that rather than it being linear, it is generally circumstantial. You see, something has prompted this memory, something has prompted this feeling, some circumstance around you has brought you back to this event, and so you begin to experience it again. And this can happen one time or many, many times, you see, until it has been resolved. And if it is not resolved in this physical reality, it will be resolved in another reality, but physical or non-physical, doesn't matter. You cannot escape the things that you create. They are with you always, always. You may not like this, but
Well, it's not easy. It's very challenging, and over the
yes,
years I have thought, now what did I do to be involved with this? Why did this happen? Why did it keep happening? So what I did was I removed myself from the situation and the relationship, thinking that, you know, things would get better and she would realize, or people would realize what they did, especially when you tell them and explain to them how they hurt you. So I feel like there was no excuse for the action, her actions to continue.
control others. You cannot control others. You can only control yourself. You cannot say to a person, you hurt me, and immediately expect them to be, oh, I'm so sorry, I will never do that again. I don't care how much you explain to them. We say it is their choice at that point, whether to accept it, whether to understand it, whether to change their behavior. You have no control over that. You only have control over yourself, your feelings, your actions. Now, you say you stepped away from this person, you cut this person out of your life for a time. We say, well, there, you see, you didn't deal with it. You did not deal with it. You left. You avoided. You see, you avoided. And so now it's come back, and it will continue to come back until you deal with it, which means until you understand what it is within yourself that is creating this. You see?
Yeah, I understand. Just got to figure that one out.
Well, yes, this is a challenge for you, for your
Yes.
personal growth.
Uh-huh.
So it is a good thing. It may appear to be a bad thing, but it is actually a good thing, because it is opportunity for your personal growth. You see?
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's just complexing, you know, try to break it down and decide why. Uh,
Why an event happens is not necessarily, well, to some degree it is important, but to a large degree, the why is not important. The reaction to it is what is important, most important. How do I react to this event? And when you find that reason for your reaction, that will shed light on why the event happened to begin with.
for myself and not them.
Not them, you.
talked about why it happened to me several times.
Why it didn't happen to you,
Yeah.
why you created it. You see, whenever we say things like, this happened to me, you're placing it outside of yourself. Someone, something, some event has occurred to you. You see, it has occurred to you. It has, you have had no say in it. It has just been some outside circumstance that has happened to you. And we say, no, that never occurs. That never occurs because you invite it. You invite it, you agree to it, you participate in it. You create it. Nothing comes to you, nothing, nothing comes to you unless you agree to it. You see, you invite it. Now, we're not saying that you say, oh, I wish to be physically abused. No, you don't, it's not that clear, but there will be levels of reasoning, levels of things that have occurred uh, uh, during this event that allows you to explore events and forgiveness and participate in the life of the offender. You will have gained an understanding. You will have gained an experience. The positivity and negativity of any event, any thought, any feeling, any whatever, that's decided by you in the ultimate reality of the universes. There is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong. There are only events and what we take from those events. Concepts of right and wrong, good and bad, are made by humans. And you see that they change throughout cultures. What is good in one culture is bad in another culture. What is bad in one culture is good in another culture. You may look at behaviors such as human sacrifice or animal sacrifice and say, oh, that is barbaric, it's appalling. How did people ever do that? But in their time, in their culture, these things were revered, they were prayed for, they were thought to be wonderful, you see, and it deepened their personal experience in the reality that you are living in now. In the current culture, you find these things to be abhorrent. So any value judgments that you place are yours. They are yours. They are not somebody else's. Yes, you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Any more questions? The one that wrote in their question, has any of this been helpful to you? We feel she has physically left.
Yes, I think so.
Is there more, or are we complete?
Well, I have one that's kind of happened to me yesterday with all that good stuff.
Yes.
I take care of a neighbor's cats. So because it's so hot, I cut through my neighbors, the other neighbors. There's two houses between me and this neighbor.
Yes.
So as I was finishing taking care of the cats and picking up the mail, I started cutting through again. And this little girl came running up to me and said, "Why do you walk on somebody's yard that is not your property?" I mean, she must have been about 6 or 7. And I looked at her, I said, It's none of your business. And it just really, I thought, what kind of nerve? What's happening to the youth today that they address an elder like that? If I had done it, I would have gotten in a lot of trouble. But I mean, I still, for some time, I couldn't get over it. How she just felt very comfortable with questioning me. I should have made her feed the cats.
Well, we would say this. We would say, first of all, a child who questions is a gift. Yes, the curiosity is wonderful. Yes, and so we would say, instead of being upset with her, you could have embraced her curiosity. You could have, for example, said, "Oh, we think it is wonderful that you are curious and you are asking us questions, and we will tell you that we do it because it is quicker and easier, and we know that the neighbors do not mind." That would have been one way to handle it. Or you could have said, for example, "Oh, it's wonderful that you are curious, but it is our choice not to answer that question. Why don't you go and ask your parents?" I mean,
I think it was more, I took it as more of a challenge from her.
well, that's you. That you
Yeah,
taking it as a challenge. You don't know that she was challenging you.
I think she was for the
Well,
whole
you think
time.
you think it was. You think it was.
Hmm.
You have to ask the child if it was. You don't know what she's thinking. You think you do, but you don't. Every person is different. And once again, we talk about levels. Maybe there was a level of challenge in there, but there was definitely a lot of curiosity.
Hmm.
You see?
Well, she better, I hope she doesn't ask me that again because I'm not going to treat her any differently. I don't care if it is a level of curiosity or what. I mean, I just don't care to be questioned.
Then you've not grown, you've not expanded in that particular event. And so we say similar events will probably continue to happen to you.
Oh my God, I'll have to make myself invisible. Maybe get on my broom and fly over her.
A little self exploration will solve it.
Well, I'm pretty open with her, and I have always explained myself when she's asked me questions. I have all these colored stones in my yard and let them sit there and pick all the stones they want. So there's a relationship there. But that thing just did not sit with me the right way because it was
You might
hot.
wish you might wish to look into your background as a child, the way you were treated as a child, what you felt about that. You see, your mores are coming from a different culture, a different cultural upbringing than the mores this child has.
Mhm.
And so mm, you can choose to accept it, or you can choose not to. But we would say some exploration is in order.
Well,
You know,
she will help us open.
I have a feeling that she didn't ask you that question out of disrespect. I got a feeling she was lectured by her parent or somebody for trespassing on somebody else's property. And now she's just wondering, here's another person that's walking on somebody's property, and she was just curious and wondering why.
Well, let's put it this way, Peter. She didn't belong on that property either. She was there for the same reason I was there.
Could have been your answer.
So anyway, it was just, I just can't believe I got irritated by that. Maybe it was the heat.
There you go.
Could be. And it could be something that happened in your childhood that you kind of got to get in touch with.
It's
Yes,
been a long
Like you
time
said, everything
ago.
is a lesson.
Hmm.
is
One thing that brought my mind, as far as forgiveness was, and I did it a long time ago, When I was a teenager, I had somebody come up behind me and threw my head up against the concrete wall. And I started fighting with him again. And I had a bowling pin in my hand. And I didn't want to hurt him with the bowling pin. So I handed it to my friend, supposedly. They told me after that I handed it to him. And he was the one that bounced that pin over my head. It caused me to have double fracture of my skull. And I spent the whole week in the hospital.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yes, it was not pleasant, and it was actually a miracle that I survived it. Actually, but it taught me a lesson. Number one, I called the guy stupid when he asked me what are you looking at. I said I'm looking at you, stupid, and I just ignored it and I just went away, and that's what provoked him. And I did forgive him right away because. I was in the hospital. I was thinking about that, and my friends came up. They wanted to know if you want to, we can get even with the guy. I says no, just let it go, let it pass by. But at
And
that
you
point, I felt like
understand.
I forgave him. I forgave him, but I never forget the incidents. As of today, when I'm taking my medicine for seizure control, I think of that injury because that's what injury caused me to have seizures.
Gosh, that's terrible, Peter.
So to this day, every time I take my Dilantin, I think of that story, but I'm still forgave, but I still have the memory. And I can't get rid
But
of
has it happened again?
No, never happened again, but
There you go. You see? Now, we also wish to point out that since it has not happened again or something extremely similar, then your forgiveness, you see, is real. However, we wish you to understand that that happened only in this reality, only in this time frame, and you chose it among many, many, many different choices. You could have not made the comment to begin with, or once having made the comment, you it could have resolved itself in many different ways. You could have apologized right at that moment. You could have had an experience where this pin was not a part of the experience. Perhaps it was a rock or something else. You see, again, you choose among probabilities when an event happens. So you understand that you played a part in this. You chose this particular um, acting out of the event when you could have chosen lots of others. But this is good. This is fine because it shapes you.
but the
Good.
thing is, if you keep remembering the incident all the time, are you really forgiven? And I really do forgive him. And like you said, it didn't happen again.
Yes, yes, you can remember for sure. We also wish to point out that memories uh, change because you can change your past. And when you change your past, you change your memories. Uh, However, mm, memories and events are a large part of the human experience. So it's not that you forget when you forgive, it's that it doesn't hold the same charge. When you remember this event, you no longer feel the way you did at the time of the event, correct?
Correct.
Yes. You see, so that's fine. Is there more? No. Then we feel we are complete, and we will simply sum up by saying what we have said many times before. Look at levels, understand that things repeat themselves when you have not totally forgiven. Um, and we would say that forgiveness is not something you need to do necessarily. Um, you will feel better when you forgive. You will not re-experience events when you forgive. But like everything in this lifetime that you create, you have choices. And if you live with the feelings of what you consider to be a negative event, that's your choice. You don't have to whitewash it or clean it or make your soul more pure or anything like that. You you are taught this by many different religions and writers and various speakers, will say, oh, you must do this, you must forgive, you don't have to. It's nice, we feel, if you can, because it gives you growth. And again, until you have totally forgiven an event or a person, you will have recurrences. But maybe you wish that. Maybe every recurrence takes you deeper into realization. Mm, These are your choices. So we feel we are complete, and we thank each of you for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.